We're live.
We made it.
Live on Faz Radio. I want to make that fade out. Might have to talk with some people to get that to fade out. That's our animated Faz Pulse animation. That's what I call that.
Faz Pulse animation. That sounds weird. Okay, do what you do.
Look at those producer messages, Mr. Titan. You've just been handed your ass. Don't piss off the producer. You'll be made like this small on the screen.
She's on it though, dude. I like it. She's doing
good.
All right.
I'm gonna show here what I'm drinking today.
What do you got? Grit? Yeah. Is that from the game? Did they send you that?
Oh yeah, I got cases of it, dude. Cases.
Whoa!
This
guy gets everything.
This was from Gulliver's 2, which I did not attend, but I had some insiders there that brought me some swag back, and so that was one of them.
All right, Faz, get on that. We need some insiders from these places bringing us stuff back.
Oh, all right. So today we're talking about. Moving on.
He's like, "Fuck you! Just shut up and let us talk."
Well, people are here to watch Faz Radio and to hear about things in the crypto world. Now, we could have a show that's dedicated just toward bullshit, which I'm fine, but this is not it. That show is the Faz Radio Green Room. And had you been a member for $2 a month, do you like that? Had you been a member for $2 a month, you could have seen a bunch of our bullshit for the last hour because it took time.
I could have annoyed 10 times as many people.
That's right. So
it was a bunch of bullshit too.
We do Patreon.
I know. I tried to make it cool, and it was a fail.
Yep. Anyway, so today we're talking about scamming the scammers, and maybe Mr. ForgedInCrypto can explain that. That's why you're big, by the way, so you can explain what the title means.
I just brought up the title just because I wasn't trying to get scammed. Somebody was trying to scam me today, and it was one I hadn't seen before, but apparently it's an old one, an oldie but a goodie. That's what Nephilim Haas was telling me. Basically, somebody posed as me, so they took my avatar or my little avatar in Discord, my name, and they DM'd a mod, a scam link, and just made it incredibly obvious that it was a scam link in order to get me banned. So there's a problem here, but we'll get back to that in a second. So they banned me, not the scammer. They ended up banning me, ForgedInCrypto. And I saw a DM came through, and I could tell it was a scam DM right away. It was like, click on this link, so you know it's a scam first and foremost. But it said you've been banned from the GALA Discord, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. So then I go and I look just to see where's GALA Discord, and it was completely gone. I was like, oh, I am banned from GALA Discord. So I had somebody send me a link. I got back in. I was like, hey, what's going on, peeps? You know, I'm out. And then Vera Awesome, she messaged me. She's like, is this really you? Because it hadn't been found out what actually happened yet. So when I sent them my screenshots, they found out. So this is a common scam, apparently. And then for me, I looked at it and I was like, this could be really bad if they actually did better work on their scamming. Like, I don't want to say what they could do to make it better, but because I don't want people to get scammed. But I mean, it's close to, and I'm pretty diligent. Like, I won't click on links like that come through and any kind of stuff. I'm not about to happen unless I know you somehow, some way. And even then, I have to know you for a while, and sometimes I'll run it through different things just to make sure I'm not getting, scammed on stuff, because it's a nasty world out there. But and Jesse brought this up in the Discord, and this was something I was thinking too, is shouldn't there be a step first and foremost? I mean, I've been in the Discord for a long ass time. I've been around GALA for a long ass time. I've got every stupid ass role that they have in there for whatever it is. Shouldn't they have just like timed me out first and sent me a DM and said, hey man, why are you sending scammy links? And I could be like, I ain't send you shit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Instead of just me.
Maybe it depends on the person. One time, I think I have been asking every time I post like a Faz Radio link on the GALA Discord. By the way, some of us should do that. Somebody should do that. Post the Faz Radio link on the GALA Discord. I've always asked permission.
Post a scam link.
Nobody's clicking anything now.
Post a scam Faz Radio link.
But I was like, hey guys, here's come over to Faz Radio and listen. And nobody's ever had a problem. They're like, yeah, we don't mind you getting stuff like that. And then I think I posted a link to my Discord at one point, and then it just got deleted. It didn't even, nobody even warned me or anything. It was just deleted. And I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. So I don't know. I don't post on the GALA Discord very much. A lot of people over there probably don't know who I am. Probably even some of the mods.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. There's a lot of turnover there, so they don't know who we are. I mean, we're not a big deal. Like, but we've been around for a while enough to where we should at least get a DM from somebody saying, "Hey,
yeah,
what's going on?"
Well, you're trying to use your name and your status to get you some special favors, and they want to treat you like everyone else. And see what happens when you're like everyone else.
That's fine. I want to be treated like everybody else, but everybody else.
Speaking of that.
Everybody else doesn't spend millions of dollars on their crap. So,
speaking of that, there's a note for you in the private chat there, Mr. Nate.
The private one.
Private.
Oh, isn't that what I just did?
Sort of.
Oh.
I guess so. Maybe it was felt that you didn't touch enough on it.
Maybe. I don't know.
That's what she said.
How could? So the question is, how could GALA have done something different then? I think you said that they should have just contacted you.
Yeah,
so they should have contacted the scammer themselves, because remember, they banned you. Here's the question. The scammer was still there. They probably deleted the message.
Right, exactly. So they scam, they send it, they delete the message. They know it came from Forged,
then they go look
the name
up Forged
ForgedInCrypto, and they just looked up ForgedInCrypto and said, oh, look at this guy.
Just ban everything, yeah.
He has every fucking title that you can get within GALA. Let's ban him.
There's like 3 people on the GALA Discord with the name Faz, by the way.
Yeah, there was another Titan that showed up at one point too. That made me a little nervous. I didn't want them saying stupid shit. I say enough stupid shit.
There's already 3 people on there with Faz is like an Arabic word too, so I don't know. I believe they post in the Arabic channels. Let's see, Faz 0754. 0754, he has not said anything.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I got off Telegram.
4 Fazes, and a Fazah, and a Phase, and a Fazaros, and a Fazandro.
Yeah.
Fazandro Radio, I love it.
That's the new one.
They have the trademark, apparently. Okay. So anyway, what I was getting at with scamming the scammers is, so this is more than just your story that you have about scamming the scammers, right? Unless that's it and we're done.
Oh, no, I mean, so where did it come from? How'd you get compromised? Do you know?
I didn't get compromised. It wasn't me. They literally just
they just copied it.
They copied. They screenshotted. That you can copy and paste. I have the ancient chicken right now as my Discord logo, and then they just wrote ForgedInCrypto. So this has happened to me. So the EDIO main developer is Forgeable, and so I got a DM from Forgeable, and I hadn't DM'd him first, and I was like, okay, why is he DMing me? Now, granted, I was pretty active within their ecosystem, but I hadn't talked to him, so it's still, again, it made me leery, right? And so I just, in their main Discord, I was like, hey, I'm assuming this is a scam, but did you DM? And he's like, look, I'm not going to DM you. And I was like, okay, that's what I thought. And so it's the same thing. They can just take it, they make their own Discord, and then call it ForgedInCrypto. You
said that in a DM that he wasn't going to DM you, right?
No. It was in their main general chat.
Oh.
He's like, I'm not going to DM you. And then he DM'd me like about a month later to have me kick some of my scholars because they were cheating. But anyways, I think that's the thing here is I didn't do anything. Like I was just, nothing at all. It's just somebody just made a whole Discord, used my PFP, and named it ForgedInCrypto and went in there. It's just like, hey, here's a scam link, DMing somebody with it. So
that's what's going to happen with the CryptoFaz Academy if it gets as popular as ForgedInCrypto here.
Well, and it's like anything though. There's just a little bit of follow through that has to happen with everything that we do here in the crypto universe. Is just take a second and kind of see what's happening here, right? You get a DM from somebody. Great. Why is this person DMing me? Some people might get excited, like, oh, what if Benefactor DMs? You're brand new to GALA, you're excited, and Benefactor DMs you, right? You're like, okay, let's think for a second. Why the fuck is Benefactor going to DM you first and foremost? So if there's an actual reason, okay, good. Now go to the next step. Like, okay, verify that this is Benefactor in a different way, right? We have to do this on different levels, and not just in Discord, not just anything else, but with everything that we do. Like, you go to a site, it's a new website, and it has new DeFi. Like, okay, well, who's running this? Who's making this protocol? You know, what are they using internally as their security? Is this good for me to connect to? And this is going to go right into, you know, what's the one you were talking about? Oh, I lost it. It's the other. They just basically had the API keys were stolen. Titan. It was the other other scam that was just out there. Damn it.
Yeah, it was that guy who does all of the he finds all the scams that are out there, and it was 3 commas.
3 commas.
And people who went onto their platform used API keys to connect to that platform, right. And all of those got compromised. The guy that did it was blackmailing, basically. He put up and said, either you guys pay me or I'm going to sell it to the general community. I did it kind of as a joke, but then, realized how serious this was, and so I'm going to hold it for 3 commas. If you'll pay me X amount of dollars, I'll delete it, So these scams are going like mad, right?
Well,
and
they heard about this, right? And they didn't do anything. Like, this guy was
they denied it, yeah.
Bastards.
Yeah, there was no evidence, right? It was just a bunch of people they're like, hey, we're seeing what people are posting here on Twitter, and a lot of these people have 3 comma accounts, and they're like, yeah, bullshit, no, nothing happened, yada, yada, yada. And the same thing is happening with Lastpass, right? So seen on Twitter, on CFA, I posted an article from a very famous Bitcoiner named Willy Woo, who posted about it, how it keeps getting worse, because as more things come out, LastPass is, kind of, oh yeah, so yeah, that's right. Yeah, we ended up losing the whole database, but don't worry. As long as you have a secure main password, everything's fine. So they keep walking forward with evidence, but they won't admit anything until evidence is there. So, that leads into some more discussion we can have about this.
So the problem with LastPass is the data itself is encrypted, but the metadata can be read. So say you had 5 passwords and you name them, for different websites or something like that. There's certain bits of metadata that they can read from that to where they can then target you and scam you and get that information. Maybe I think it's like 12 or 13 different fields that they can get. I mean, somebody, if they targeted you, could probably convince you that they knew your password. They'd be like, oh, well, it's part of this, it's part of this, and part of this. And then you'd be like, oh, shit, they know it. Unless they tell you your password, you shouldn't believe them because they can't find that part out.
Here, I read a thread today on Twitter. There's a very advanced Apple scam that started just the other day, right? So if you're an Apple user, you know that if you log into something for the first time, it'll send a code to your phone. It'll say, are you trying to log in? And then it sends you a code, and you've got to enter that code in. So what's happening is they're getting a phone call. And they're spoofing the number. It comes up as, 1-800-MY-APPLE. Because most people block any incoming call except for who's in their contact list. Well, they're spoofing it because My Apple is in every iPhone. and it'll ring right through. And they're saying, hey, this is John from Apple. We noticed a suspicious login from, Sacramento, California. Can you confirm that? And they'll, you're like, oh, well, no, I'm not in Sacramento. And they'll say, okay, well, what we're going to do is we're going to access your account to see where you're logged in from. And they'll try and log in, and they will. The thing is you have to enter your password correctly for that to flow through to your iPhone. So you'll get this message, and it'll say, logging in, and the guy on the phone will say, all right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to have you give me that 6-digit code so I can check your account.
Oh, that's good.
So right, it's fantastically good. Well, what I noticed in that thread though is people kept asking, "Hey, did you have your Apple password in LastPass?" Because that would tell them that they've managed to decrypt the LastPass. So this just started along the same lines with this LastPass thing. So you guys be careful out there. Apple will never call you and ask you to give them a code. Nobody will call you from whatever company you're with and say, give me the 2FA code so I can check your account or whatever it might be.
As the thing I was just saying, nobody's going to call you. Nobody's going to ask for sensitive information. They shouldn't be at all. And if they are, you need to be leery of it. And you need to be like, why is this person calling me? Why is this person DMing me?
Even if they spoof the number though too, so you can't even trust anybody calling you with that stuff, even if they have your personal info.
Who makes phone calls these days?
Yeah, by the way, I have a story about that. So I had to get Adobe Acrobat for something. Apparently, I was required to get Adobe Acrobat. So I went and bought like a 7-day trial, and of course, planning to cancel it afterward. And so I went to install the trial, and the trial didn't work. So then I went to Adobe's chat help. I said, "Hey, I can't install this. This won't work. What do I do?" And they're like, "Oh, that's okay. Let me log on to your computer, and then I can see what you're doing." And I'm like, "Excuse me? I don't think so." And
right.
First of all, I don't even know how they do that. I mean, what they have
my wife's uncle just got scammed by this. Literally, just got scammed by this.
And I'm like, I don't even think so. So this was Adobe support on Adobe's site, and I would assume that they had some. I would assume that the way they talked about it was some sort of screen share thing. And I'm like, well, so that's not happening. And then they eventually gave me a download link just for Acrobat. Normally, the way you do it is you get their little suite or whatever, and Acrobat isn't enabled as part of that suite. Apparently, there's issues with it. So they gave me the download for Acrobat, and then I downloaded that and whatever, did my thing. But that's kind of the scary part is they're like, and I made sure that what I downloaded was from the Adobe site, but you can't even trust. I mean, even the actors that know what they're doing, or the actors you should trust, are doing sketchy things. No, you're not going to look at my computer.
They should know that internally. Like, they shouldn't be asking to log into somebody's computer. That just doesn't make any sense to me. Like,
I don't even know what they were thinking. I believe they were thinking something like you should share. You'll use a screen share program or something. Windows actually, that's right. Windows has a little help mode. I can actually log into your Windows by you giving me a link. I would talk you to go to this mode, and then it would and then you'd give me like a one-time link. And they're like, take anything off the screen you don't want me to see. It's like, I don't want to see you can see anything. Sorry.
Yeah, my mom, I finally got her to get a Chromebook a few years back, and she's only about 15 minutes away from me. But she would call me and be like, "Oh, hey, I'm stuck on this. I need some help." So I would remote in using Chrome, of course, because she had a Chromebook. She was too afraid of viruses. And so I had to tell her after like the third one, I'm like, by the way, if anybody else ever wants to remote into this, say no. Yeah. Just call me. Don't, people will act like they're trying to help you and they'll rip you for everything you got. Just never do it except if it's me.
Yeah, even my old business, we would remote in a lot of times, and I hated letting people remote into my computer. I'm like, it just feels icky.
No, well, once you do that, if you don't close it properly or anything else, people can see what you're doing.
It'll time out.
And
It'll time out. But yeah,
yeah, but still,
they
you
still
don't
can
want
see what
that.
you're doing if it's in the timeout. Yeah.
Well, and you never know what they're clicking either. They could have a window up in front of you, and they could be clicking in the background, going into who knows where in your computer. It's just never a good idea.
Yeah.
So-
Again, it goes back to personal responsibility. Again, this is why I got into Bitcoin and crypto in the first place, is having personal responsibility for my own assets, right? Taking that upon myself to store that, not your keys, not your crypto, not your keys, not your coin, however you want to say it. And this is the same way with everything we do in life. Personal responsibility. Like, understand that what you're doing is you're allowing people to get into your personal stuff, and if it's sensitive, you got to be damn sure you're okay with them being there.
I don't know.
Yeah,
it would seem that crypto right now is kind of going opposite the direction of prevailing winds with everything else. Here, let's focus me and not Mr. Titan's hollow head. There we go.
God damn it.
Yeah.
But right now, everything out in the stores, they're safe. You can't really buy a lot of stuff that isn't safe. I think Elon Musk tried to make a flamethrower a while back, didn't he?
No, it was not a flamethrower, bro. Not
What
a
was it?
flamethrower.
It was not a flamethrower.
It was not. That's literally what he called it. Was not a flamethrower.
So
it's illegal to sell a flamethrower. So just call it not a flamethrower, and you're fine.
well, you got to define what a flamethrower is legally.
Oh, I've got that. You know what's a flamethrower? NERDNODE.io. Get those nodes over there. Nate will set them on fire.
Back off from the microphone.
He'll have them running for you like there's no tomorrow. Take everything you've got and research NERDNODE. We'll put a link in the description. Whether it's GALA nodes, the EVIO setups, he'll hook you up with the Mafia as well. NERDNODE can run those nodes, and he has a guarantee. If it's their fault that your nodes go down and not the node that you're actually running, he'll make sure that you get your tokens one way or another.
Okay, wait a minute. Let's back up a bit and explain to people. Some people might not know what these nodes are. So the nodes that NERDNODE automates for you is you might have a GALA Games node where in order to get your rewards, it has to be running on a daily basis. Well, the GALA Games nodes tend to crash from time to time. And when they crash, then you don't get your rewards. Then you have to go and fix it yourself. And you might not be busy. You might not have time to do that. In fact, I think mine crashed and I forgot to reboot my computer. And so if it had just been running on NERDNODE, they'll automatically take care of it when it crashes. And if for some reason they effed up and they didn't get your thing running, they'll reimburse you the credits anyway, whatever you might have missed out on. It sounds like.
I mean, it's a and to be clear, I'm not going to do any of that. Like me personally, I'm too dumb. I'm a big dummy. But I've got people that are partners with me that are really, really smart. They do a lot of good things. So they do some good stuff. And
so are
they
you
NERDNODE?
Are you NERDNODE? Are these partners NERDNODE? How does this work?
There's technically 5 partners of NERDNODE. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Very
so
cool.
you want to know the story? You want to know the story of NERDNODE?
Bird nodes. That's a new one.
Doo-doo?
That's going to be extra sponsorship for bird nodes and nerd nodes.
Just
You
a
know.
second. I need a little more of that. It's getting nice. So NERDNODE actually started from Doc. Doc was before GALA. He kind of had his own little service that was running nodes for people, and I'd posted in I don't know, GALA Discord, like, man, my nodes aren't going up. This is a nightmare. I'm gone. I can't keep these in. And he messaged me. He's like, hey, I'll run your nodes for you. Like, you don't have to pay me. I'll run your nodes for you. Let's get it going. And I was like, I don't even know who this guy is, Doc.
You were a whale. That's why.
This was early on, so I was a little leery. This was before GALA was even worth anything. So it was like, okay, we got some stuff and you got a whole bunch of GALA coming in, but it wasn't traded anywhere, so it was worth literally zero. So I was like, whatever. He had been in the Discord for a while. A lot of people vouched for him, so I was like, okay, I'll have him do it. Anyways, he did it for the longest time until he moved over to GALA, and he had his clients and stuff. And I said, well, I'll buy your clients from you. Like, let me take it over. If you don't want to do that, let me take it over, and I'm going to start NERDNODE as the service itself. He didn't want to sell it. Anyways, he gave some, good names for us, basically saying, hey, go over this way, and if you want to use them, whatnot. So that's kind of where NERDNODE started. But NERDNODE is it's evolving into something that's more than just nodes, though. It's called NERDNODE. So we're almost going to have a whole nother site that's not NERDNODE, because there's so many other things that need a virtual server or somebody to
needs a parent company
for them. Yeah, it needs a parent company. So there's a lot of cool stuff that's going on there.
So you could, as long as you use the nerd moniker, then you could do that. You could be like, I don't know, nerd telephone and nerd this and nerd that.
Nerd it all.
Nerd it all.
Nerd it.
Nerd it. Anyway, back to our subject. What were we talking about right before? Scamalicious. So yes, people are getting scammed. There are any coin scams going out right now?
Aren't they all scams?
Oh yeah.
Well, speaking of nodes, you got Myria. Their nodes is coming out. It's going live, I think, to be ran first quarter next year. So you'll be able to run your nodes if you have Myria nodes. And the public sale goes live in January.
Is Myria a scam?
For Myria nodes. I don't know, man. They're doing a lot more than I thought they were going to be. They actually have a game running. I mean, they've got
that Townstar clone, right?
Yeah, the Townstar clone. I mean, they're very close to their chest. They don't really like you guys tried to get them on for a podcast and have an actual like conversation with them. They're only doing stuff that's paid and scripted, which is bullshit. So
because they don't know the right marketing terms to use right now, because everybody's scared. Everybody in crypto is scared right now because the feds are coming down on them really hard.
Yeah.
Isn't there there's a bill in Congress I thought I saw put out today or yesterday about crypto. What was that? You're gonna have to find that. Crypto bill.
I don't even know what you're talking about there.
It's a positive thing.
From the government? I don't think so.
Oh, did they like in Warlord says they rescinded the roadmap that they put out?
What roadmap? Is Lycan here right now?
Lycan's in the chat. Are you talking about Myria Lycan?
Yeah, because that's this was just a few days ago when they posted it when they were going to release that out. So again, I've been hanging out with the family, so I haven't been super up to date on things with the holidays here. So I'm gonna have to get my shit together.
Yeah, Myria, he says. So it doesn't surprise me. Everybody's kind of pulling back a little bit with winter dragging on as long as it is. I don't think any of us expected it to last this long. What I do know is that I've had some conversations about some other projects, some other gaming projects that we can talk about maybe in the post show. And at that point, maybe some of these other ones who are in that very, very new initial stage might have a little more traction than some of the ones that are established and kind of ground to a halt.
Yeah. I mean, there's even some big changes in the big name tokens that are out there, like Sol. They lost, what was it, Utes? Their biggest NFT.
Oh, yeah.
They're moving over to Polygon.
Solana took a massive dump today, from what I was reading.
What are they sitting at?
I think they're dumping before the end of the year. So remember that crypto act that's going to be starting, that infrastructure bill that's going to be starting the beginning of this year or next year. Remember that?
Is it start 2023?
Yeah, the infrastructure bill that
Biden passed. They're proposing it now, right? Or are you saying it's going active?
No, it's going. Well, no, the infrastructure bill was signed back in 2021, and or 2021. And that infrastructure bill was, remember, it had said that that like anybody who traded crypto at all was a broker, and then people lost their minds. Faz Radio even had a little thing about suggesting people vote no on the infrastructure bill and stuff like that.
So that's set to go by default, is what you're saying?
Well, not by default. It's set to go by plan.
No, but I mean at the default at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, the infrastructure bill is at the beginning of the year, and that has some anti-crypto provisions, or I'll say lesser. Basically, it's saying that everybody who trades crypto is a broker. They did have to. The Treasury clarified, like, people started freaking out, going like, "Well, what about people with just regular wallets? Are they brokers because they could trade crypto?" And the Treasury's like, "Yeah, we know. We're not going after those people."
I remember that we did a cast on that. Yeah,
they didn't say what or anything. They just said those people don't concern us right now. Thanks. That's next year, I guess.
Right, exactly. It's like, no, don't worry. We'll just keep it in there, but we're not going to go after these guys until we need to. Or, we need $5 extra of taxes. We're going to have to go after somebody, so.
Let's see. There are 6 proposals right now to regulate cryptocurrency. I'm looking on thehill.com. Maybe I can share my screen. Hold on. I have to know what I'm talking about first, though.
Right? So
where's your producer? You should have your producer do that. She should be able to share screens, pull that stuff up, send it over to you.
Actually, the producer was asking me to show on the screen what the hell I'm talking about, and I said I had to go look it up.
I know. That's what she's there for. She's got faster fingers than you. She can do it.
You can be
smarter than you.
You're the talent, Faz. The talent should not have to do that. And speak about yourself in the third person. The Faz needs this up.
I'm out. If that happens, I'm out.
And we have the Titan, and we have the ForgedInCrypto.
Oh man,
I see an article about it, but it's not very easy to read.
Well, I'm gonna go back to Lycan. He says he's talking about the roadmap. Yeah, that was the one I was talking about. Lycan was the one that was just released on 12/27, the newest one, because I think they talked about it being live. Again, I'm speaking out of my ass, but I'm pretty sure that they're going live with the node sale for the public next month, and then it's going to be live for the nodes to be ran first quarter next year. But I could be wrong.
And I think they're doing a drop for those who got the sigillies or whatever they call those sigils.
What?
SIGIL.
Sigils.
Sigil. I don't. You know what?
Dude.
I don't know what the fuck they are. I couldn't get one.
Sigils.
Don't be talking about them. You don't know what the hell they are.
Sigils. It was funny. We were driving by. This was a long time ago, and there's a restaurant, and my wife goes, "Oh, maybe we can eat there. It's called a pizzeria." And I was like, "Pizzeria?" She's like, "Oh God." So that's Titan's sigil. It's Sigilia.
Yeah, whatever. It's whatever Italian food they're selling over there. I didn't get any.
A sigil is basically like a little carving, carving of a symbol, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So jokes aside, I talked about that before, and I went through all they had like 5 hoops you had to jump through to get that thing, and I'm trying to go through them. The emails wouldn't come through. Once the email did come through, I would go and try and confirm it, and it says you don't have an account. I'm like, I do have an account, so I finally got to the login. I go to the login. It says, okay, now go get your cigali, your cigar or whatever. I'm like, wait, seagulls.
Your flock of seagulls, yes.
Flock of seagulls. And I mean, I jumped through it like 3 times like that. Finally, I'm like, fuck it, this is stupid, and I just left it go.
Oh, it wasn't. I mean, that's why in the beginning, Myria was 100% a scam in my book. Their whole Discord was what you're talking about is you had to like reach this level, and so you had to post a certain amount in their Discord, and people were just literally posting like, "Good morning, this is great, Myria rocket shit," shit like that. It's like you're not providing any content; you're just having stupid people in here posting dumb shit the whole time, and that was their whole shtick. And then obviously they were, copy pasting, trying to do the same thing that GALA was doing. They've changed a lot. They've added a lot of different features in there. They supposedly have a fuck ton of games coming to their platform. Good or not, I have no clue. But I don't know. It's much like, for me, they're just a step above playable.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, yeah, the other game they have is a tower defense game, right? So
They have a
again,
race
it's
game
like,
too coming like next month.
yeah,
Play test it, the race game. It's like a Mario Kart clone or some shit.
All right,
Right.
let me talk about what's on the screen here.
200 plus. Like, and that's a
You're
lot.
So basically, I was talking about a crypto bill, and it looks like there's a bill that was introduced just a few days ago by Senator Pat Toomey, who's actually leaving in like 2 days, to make it so the Office of the Comptroller regulates crypto as you get a license for money transfer, which is interesting. So it's right here for stablecoin issuers. Anyway. They're trying to. This sounds like a bill that's kind of the base for other bills to be created later. So that's my 2 cents there. I thought it was a little bit of positive news.
well, the problem is that they don't know crypto well enough to legislate anything.
Oh my God! Yeah, you're right.
Jeremy Hogan is that lawyer who kind of inserted himself in the middle of the XRP, Ripple, SEC thing. And he just posted the other day on Twitter something to the effect that a lot of these legislators are not well equipped to handle the influx of crypto, right? So he said, make it simple and just modify the Howey test to include crypto. And I said, that's really not a bad idea. I mean, personally, I've been arguing for a long time, just create a new governing body for it with people that actually understand what the hell it is, and get people from the crypto world who can explain it to them if they get something wrong. And they can dole that out then and say, all right, SEC, you can monitor these people, CTFC, you monitor these people. But we see that even with the CTFC, one of their bigwigs just had to resign because they caught him having dinner with SBF. I mean, it's all just a shit show.
So okay, so the Howey test is not something that would the Howey test itself, which is like 4 different parts of it, is not really geared toward any specific type of asset type. It's just saying regardless of the asset you type, if it meets these 4 conditions, then you have yourself a security. So modifying the Howey test to include crypto, that's not even that's kind of pointless. However, it is possible to modify it and say the Howey test only applies to certain asset types. The SEC is probably not going to want to do that themselves because they want to get as much money as they can, and apparently this is about a power thing. It's a whole big power grab.
Yeah, I mean, Knight's talking about it being Gensler and SBF, but I don't think Gensler has any connection to outside of what Gensler was SBF's, or no, it was what's her name for
What's her name's like father's friend.
father. Yeah, he worked, or his father was the boss of Gensler at like whatever fund he was there.
So basically, FTX employees had inside connections with the SEC. And the SEC was kind of talking with them about exempting FTX from certain things, but they never got all the way there, and then FTX went under.
Yeah,
but they're on their way. They're greasing the right palms.
Yeah, and it's evident that there were lots of palms that were greased well beforehand. So, I mean, this is just going to continue going down that same path. We'll just have to see what happens, though. I mean. They don't have our best interest at heart. We just know that.
Well,
so,
does government have see? In my opinion, the purpose of government is to one of the purposes that the government thinks it has is to make everything safe for people. And the real question is, how far should they go? Republicans suggest that they only regulate certain things, and Democrats suggest that they regulate a whole lot more. So. That's the problem. What do they regulate? That's what I think the issue is.
Yeah.
But they have to know what they're talking about.
Well,
and
yeah, that
they
would be
clearly don't, right? So if we're going to have this style of government, they need people like engineers and people in there who can solve problems,
You know the
not
bulk.
lawyers.
Yeah, the
Lawyers
bulk
are
of
the
Congress,
last person you want in there.
the bulk of Congress is lawyers, definitely.
Well, they have interns that can type up bills. They don't need attorneys to do that. And attorneys don't solve problems. What they do is they try and clean up problems, and their way of doing it is just throwing money at it or throwing prison terms at it. They work from a penalty and smackdown mentality instead of, hey, we have a problem here. We have a new asset class that people are really excited about, and this could innovate like you wouldn't believe and put America on top with what they're able to accomplish. Instead, they're just trying to smack people down and extort fees and penalties and everything else out of them and take their money. That's really all they're doing at this point. And that's the wrong way to do it. They should be supporting what these people are building and working with them to stay within the laws, right? And say, okay, well, you're kind of straying in a direction we don't want to see you go. How can we help you come back this way so that you're staying within these guidelines?
That's where you're talking about power, because anybody who's in power is not going to help you have more power. They're going to make it to where you have to go through them, but they're not going to help you. That's my 2 cents.
No, I agree with that 100%. And I think I just want to shout out tonight real quick. So it was Gensler that met with SBF. I thought it was somebody else that he just stepped down because he met with SBF. But either way,
it was a guy from the CTFC that stepped down. Gensler's meeting is a separate one.
That was a separate one. Okay. But when we go back to this, they're trying to regulate stuff to protect people. And the problem that we're doing is we're taking away responsibility from people. This comes all the way back around to the scam stuff we were talking about before, is people don't take enough responsibility for themselves and their actions, right? In what you're doing and what you're investing your money in, or how you're, allowing people to access your computer or your passwords. We, as a society, have gone so far away from personal responsibility and rely too much on other people to protect us, to save us, to give us a helping hand up or whatever it is, that we don't have that personal responsibility. And
well, okay, it's useful in some contexts. Like,
I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying
you want aircraft, for example, you want aircraft to be regulated because honestly, when one of those fall out of the sky, it tends to kill people on the aircraft and on the ground.
Yes,
but so that's what I'm talking about.
We've gone so far from just having regulations that actually help people to it. We want to regulate everything that we possibly can. Hell, let's take it's a really simple example. Let's take milk, right? You can't buy raw milk because guess what happens a long time ago? People would produce raw milk and they would get sick because they would do it. They would have a really nasty outfit and they would get all sorts of bacteria in there because they weren't doing it correctly. And so they came in, they regulate it. But as you move down the road, it's so overregulated that it's now illegal for somebody, and like to the point where they're going to go to prison for selling, non-homogenized milk, right? Well, what's the reality here? If I want non-homogenized milk, I should be able to purchase non-homogenized milk because I can go and I can see how
and put a goddamn warning label on it. Be like, hey, be careful.
Yes, but again, on your side, I agree. I don't want to get on a plane that isn't, how it's made isn't regulated.
Wait a minute. Okay, if we're going to use that for planes too, you could say, okay, you can go on airline 1 and 2, which are fully regulated, or you can go on airline 3, where it has a warning label on the airplane. Hey, look, we charge $5 for a flight. Sure. However, be aware you might not arrive.
I'm fine with that too. I'm totally fine with that because what you're going to get a market that's going to say, great, I don't want to use that one here because it has a sign on it. Or you're going to get people that are like, I like this place because I've looked into how they actually do their own, research on their own.
Here's the problem with that stuff. The problem with airplanes is they fall out of the sky, and they can kill anyone on the ground. So you can say put a warning label on it, but now you have to have the land underneath where the airplane flies having warning labels. Don't live here unless. And so you can't really do that. And that's people get pissed off about.
We should put a warning label on a meteorite. I mean, because it falls out of the sky too.
That's something we can't regulate. We don't have control over it.
Well, wait a minute. So why does the government have to be the regulator? The government doesn't have to be the regulator. You can have private companies regulate.
Okay, that's called a standards organization, like the IEEE. And what they do is they recommend. They have a non-government regulator does not have the power to enforce. That is only a voluntarily enforced kind of thing. So,
well, they will. It'll be voluntary because if their plane falls out of the sky, no one's going to fucking fly on them.
Yeah. I would no. I don't think it works like that.
But
no, it's not that nobody's going to fucking fly on them.
You have Airline 1 and Airline 2, right? Airline 1 has 0 planes that fall out of the sky. Airline 2, 1 out of every 5 planes fall out of the sky. Which one's going to go out of business really fast? Airline 2.
This is nuts. Okay, nobody. Yes, actually, I'm sorry, but when you have a population of people that smoke cigarettes, no offense there, Titan. When you have
I don't smoke cigarettes. I'm not offended at all.
When you have a population of people that smoke things that are literally, not good for you, that literally will kill you, then we start having a problem with what other dangerous things that people would do. And so where's the happy medium? Another one is driving.
Everyone is dumb, though. That's their own choice. They should smoke whatever the hell they want. Whether it kills them or not, that's their own choice. It's the same way with your money. You should be able to choose what you want to do with your money. Take it, put it into some scam ass token.
Bring other people into it. So if you get to like drunk drivers and stuff, you should be able to drive a car drunk. Not on the federal road, you shouldn't. Not on a private, not on any other roads, because it's the other drunk drivers that you got to worry about. It's not just you being drunk. It's about you just driving down the road and all of a sudden this missile comes from the other lane and takes you out. So that's the
missile?
problem.
Yes, a missile.
A missile.
Oh my goodness!
You can drive. You turn into a missile.
Yep. You
okay,
do.
so there's police out there to help protect, right? That's a government entity, right? You don't have to have it in the government. It tends to probably work a little better that way.
Some things need the government to be involved.
Some things, not everything.
Now, finance,
and that's all I was saying is we've gone so far to the other side that we regulate the minutia of life. And it's so insane. So
that their desire to regulate crypto has gone past my filter of what they should regulate. It's like, look, don't fucking get in it. This is a whole asset type class that you don't have to be in.
So Pork Chop, the CFA awesomeness that he is, posted the Ryan Selkis, who runs Masari. He posted his annual crypto year end of year statement, and it's like 168 pages of love, right? And he's gonna trim that down, but he posted it out, and it talks about the regulation and how all that's working. And one of his big, he reposted and he even put it in his report, his tweet that was talking about you don't have to have a government regulator regulating crypto at this point. He said something to the effect of, people built these ecosystems over the last 11 years and they ran just fine. All of a sudden now they don't, and the government has to regulate it?
Not at this point, they don't need to. I think later, so one of the big problems with crypto, which I think crypto can solve, is a problem that you cannot, say if I bought something from ForgedInCrypto and I didn't deliver it. Actually, that did kind of happen recently. If I bought something from ForgedInCrypto and then I did, and then I didn't, he didn't deliver it to me. The only recourse I have is you're screwed. Can't do anything about it. So I think there needs to be an enforcement mechanism or a way to claw that back if necessary, because that's what they do with the bank right now. What if you were to buy something from a website?
Well, it's the smart contract.
$10,000.
It's the protocols that we can build in with the smart contracts. When you're talking about crypto, we build that in with the smart contracts. Like we don't have to rely on somebody else to
What
say
if the smart contract fails?
it fails. Lots of things fail all the time. It's
Okay,
all
so
about
what's
new
the
stuff, but
so
it gets better
there's
as,
no
as we
recourse?
progress.
There's no recourse when it fails then.
Hell yeah, there's no recourse. That's what happens. You make your own choices.
This makes no sense whatsoever. No,
No,
that's stupid.
Oh,
There's no
you make your own
recourse
choices.
now.
You made your choice. I sent you.
Of course there's no recourse because crypto is so new.
Well, exactly, right? And so we're building things so we have the ability to regulate ourselves internally, essentially, with the smart contracts. And in the beginning, it's a trust factor, right? You have to sift through the immense amount of scams and bullshit that's out there. That's why the people that are here now that are early, we benefit because we're taking that risk and we're taking the personal
Well,
responsibility.
the way that I see crypto right now is like email was in the early 90s. Is basically we know how to send things on the blockchain ourselves by using something as simple as MetaMask. After a while, I really think in about 20 years, any crypto transaction you do is going to be mediated by some entity like Stripe or Strike and maybe your bank. And basically you would start it with the bank and then your bank would say insure the transaction to, solve any
You
problems.
don't need that. That's not necessary at all.
You know what insurance is? It's capitalism. Insurance is capitalism's version of socialism, but it's capitalistic. So this is something you should like. Be quiet, Titan. Anyway, so
Titan has a hole in his head. Let's not.
Crypto.
Look at that hole right
basically,
there.
it's so new right now that you can do all these things manually. Fine, that's nice to be able to do everything manually. But the reason why people buy crypto right now is later there's going to be somebody that comes along on top and guarantees those services. Banks in this situation would be service providers.
Like
a lot like FTX.
Yeah, that's why.
But that's optional.
Exactly, and that's why we're going back to not your keys, not your coins. Like you take your personal responsibility.
Why not just do a DEX? Why not just do a DEX that can do the same thing?
You can.
DEXs are amazing, except they have incredibly, ridiculously low liquidity.
Well, it only has low liquidity because it's not very popular. I mean, if they got more popular, you'd have more. All I'm saying is there's going to be somebody in some way that's going to come along on top of this and make it easier for you to use so that your grandmother could send you something and she'd know that it would get there. And if something went wrong, she'd have some recourse. If you had FTX was like a DEX, then you can go to FTX and you could say, can you fix that? And they'd say, oh, we have some insurance here. Here's your money back. And we'll go chase after the idiot. We'll ban them from the DEX and make it so that they're going to pay through the nose to.
How did that work out for you with BitTrue?
The question.
There you go.
The service providers, like if you go to your bank, how do you know that your bank is as good as the other bank? Well, you have federal regulation on the banks. That's where the feds can be, is on the banks. But the people underneath, if you're doing it manually yourself, you accept the risk. That way you have both worlds instead of saying you had to have one or the other. You can have both. And it's better for the economy that way.
So there's a couple comments in here. There's a couple There's a couple comments. Knight says, I'm not sure how any of this could ever be regulated because crypto is a world currency. What governments have the authority over other governments? It would have
to be a world regulation kind of situation. It would have to be a standard.
No, you don't want the governments of the world combining to regulate anything. No, you don't want that. That's the last thing you want. Let countries and companies and everything else do what they do. And people can opt into using them if they want to. But if they don't want to, they don't have to. It's really that simple.
It really is.
And
I think having both situations is going to solve everything instead of saying one or the other.
You're going to have both situations. You're not going to have one or the other. You're going to have both, but you have to have the government that allows the other situation to happen, to allow the people to have the choice. And right now, they're trying to regulate it out, and that I don't agree with. They need to have that ability to be able to make that choice to use a DEX. I mean, they want to regulate out DEXs. Like they literally.
Well, the homogenized milk thing happened probably because of a milk lobby. Because, I mean, that's why you see those stupid commercials, milk, it does your body good and all that stuff. It's because there's a lobby. Milk actually isn't as good for you as some other things, but, the milk lobby is pretty big. Sugar has a big lobby. Tobacco owns goddamn everything. Don't they own Pepsi, Philip Morris? So I mean, tobacco owns a whole lot of stuff. So everybody has their points of power that you're going to have to work through.
Yeah. No, I think there are a lot of comments in here. So many.
We're starting a lot of shit. It's all the arguing that's causing.
Well,
people
if
to
you
say
would
more.
just agree with us, Faz, we wouldn't have to argue.
See, my solutions always include yours. It's the excluding that I have a problem with. You can have both. You can have the lower levels and the higher level. Do you know how like networks are set up? Computer networks have several layers to them. You have like a hardware layer, and you have a protocol layer, and then you have an application layer. You go all the way up to the top. You have a provider. You have a provider that does things for you. All the layers have different purposes, and each one automates the one below it. There's no reason why somebody can't guarantee a transaction, a crypto transaction.
But we're giving you the same thing. We're giving it an option. You have that option if you want to go with XYZ exchange and they have insurance and you want to pay for it and you want to have the little pat on the head and the stroke on the back.
Some
Hey,
people need
baby,
that.
everything's going to
In fact,
be right.
80% of the
But
people
it's
in the world need
optional.
that.
It shouldn't be required for everybody to do that.
Then
That's the only thing.
And we're saying
Right.
the same thing.
Right. You can just have the option. I think where the disconnect is you're saying regulation's good. We should have regulation. Well, no,
Yes,
not for
regulation
everybody.
I didn't say for everybody. I said regulation
Yeah.
has its purpose. So that's fine.
There
It's
should be
an
some
all or nothing approach that gets me.
I think the comments are the best because it is like an onion. You just got to peel back the layers. There's so many layers to it all, right? And I don't think you can regulate crypto at its core. What they can regulate though is how you off ramp. How you get
what
that.
they really want to what I think crypto is turning into now, especially if it's going to be in several countries, is it's going to be this global power test. Whoever regulates the most of crypto essentially owns crypto. If the United States is able to shut out crypto, then they will know how well their power is by how well they can keep crypto out of the United States. But hell, I think that's going to make all the rich people leave. Okay, go for it. When the Republicans come in office, they'll just unregulate crypto. And then it's just like banking regulation and banking deregulation and all that stuff. Depends on what power is in charge.
But that's the problem is it keeps flip-flopping based on these two parties who don't know what the hell they're doing and don't have anybody's best interest in mind except their own. You know, there's some great information out there. You know, these senators and these Congress people, they go in with a salary of $258,000 a year and they come out with $19 million after 20 years. The math just doesn't add up. They're doing it in their own best interest, not in the interest of the people they're representing.
Well, if you
because
get
remember,
$258,000 a year, and you know about all the laws that are coming up, you can invest in something before
that's
it
corruptible. That it's a mess.
That is corruption.
Yes, and that's what has to stop. There has to be a better way to do it, so that stuff just doesn't happen. When it benefits you that much to be in that position, that's where the problems arise. I think that's where you stop the problem.
Got to fix your forehead, dude.
I'll have it fixed for tomorrow night, man. I did this trying to, get the green screen going.
I said you had a shiny forehead earlier. It was actually fine at that time, and you changed it to
wrong side. Let's see. Well, that made it worse.
That's even better. You can see all the way through that sucker.
So we had. My camera just fell.
Lycan just talked about something that really hits home is the tinfoil hat. So hopefully next year we have a whole lot of tinfoil hat conversations, Titan and I.
We are. I'm gearing up to that. We're ready to go. I was telling a guy at work about that today, and he's like, I'm in.
These are two people that want to have their own show, apparently, to talk about things like the moon.
You're more than welcome to come on.
Oh, yeah. I'll come on.
It'll be great.
I'll come on. I'll give it the Faz treatment. You'll just be able to shut me up. That's the only difference. See, that's what conspiracy theorists do.
He'll be on the show and we'll mute him and we'll be like, obviously he can't get his microphone to work. We don't know what's wrong with that. It's okay.
Not
We'll move on
Faz
with our
Radio
conversation.
material. We have other shows planned, but not a conspiracy channel.
Yeah, no. So, I mean, when it boils down to it, I do think that choice is what crypto's about. And when you have centralized authorities that are telling you what you can and can't do, that's not crypto. That's just another company telling you, or a government telling you what you can and can't do. Remember, the Constitution was created to limit what the government can and cannot do, not what the people can and cannot
you're
do.
advertising a different show there.
I'm not. I'm tying this back because if the Constitution says we can limit what the government has the power to do, there's nothing in the Constitution that talks about crypto. If they want to regulate crypto, they can put an amendment in. They can try and get their 2/3 in the House and the Senate to put that in there, just like they did with income taxes back in 1916.
Part of the problem with the Constitution is that it enables a Byzantine array of laws that likely conflict with each other, and going through them and all these laws affect each other, and going through them one by one is dizzying and takes probably hundreds of years. And so there's more than just saying the Constitution allows. You've got all these law works by precedent. You have all these precedents that have been set by different judges and different courts at different times, and they build this little haystack of what's legal. And people in charge, people in the government and so on, they spend a lot of time pulling little Jenga squares out of this haystack to see if they can get things to fall their direction. So whatever the case is, it's not a conspiracy. We got all these fucking laws, like 10 billion laws that conflict each other. Maybe we should have AI analyzing that for people rather than drawing pictures of us.
Speaking of AI, that thing is just getting crazy. Have you been using it at all? Like the chat GPT and the
no. How do you do that? What's the site for that?
Oh, just go to OpenAI.
OpenAI.io. Okay. Can we talk to it right now?
You'll have to connect to it, but you'll be able to start a conversation with it. I will say two things. One, it's pretty fucking amazing what it does and how it can respond and just give you answers or write. It can write entire papers if you want it to. Now, the one thing it 100% is biased as fuck.
I was just gonna go there next. People were just people were just posting about that.
The Fuzzles tried to do that. They weren't that good, and their
Fuzzles were bullshit.
And their interface sucked. This is great.
Fuzzles was like a 5-cent AI kind of thing. It's like, take these 14 phrases and use some AI on it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always going to sound stupid.
Yeah, if you take the chat GPT and you actually put the Fuzzle on it, it'd be pretty fucking cool. But because it's so deep, just mess around with it for a little bit.
Chat GPT?
GBT, I believe.
Okay.
Let
me GPT.
GPT.
Chat GPT.
LBGBTQFLRNSRD.
Ask it what the fuck a Sigali is.
Okay, so the OpenAI website doesn't really give anything but just this animated picture. I don't see where I could actually talk to it.
I think it's the API, or not the API. It's the app. Open up the app. I think is what's on there.
How do you get to the app? Here, let me share my screen here. Share screen.
But it's so the reason I say it's biased as fuck is because I was just messing around with it. I did stuff like write a poem about a boy and a dog. And, and it instantly just writes a poem. And I'm like, okay, it was probably middle school, freshman year, high school written poem type of situation.
Where do I go here?
Go to the...
Introducing the research release right here. I think you mean this.
Try that.
Right? Log in, sign up.
Yeah, you got to log in. Just, I don't know what you want to use. Use whatever you want.
I got to go set up something, and I don't have time for that. We should have set this up in advance.
Should have. But anyways, I'll talk about it as we go forward. So then I started seeing a few things that people were talking about, how it was biased in the code that they write in there of how it's supposed to respond to certain things. And so I started asking it about a very controversial subject, which is global warming, and asking it questions that, is pretty simple. Like, is this the hottest the Earth has ever been? And it would give answers like, I can't answer that question right now. Or as you start to ask it, and the nice thing about it is you can go in and you can ask it a question like, what is global warming? It'll give you an answer. And then you can ask a question on what it just gave you.
And then it contradicts itself.
And it'll respond to it. No, it doesn't really contradict itself. It keeps in the same line, but you can have a conversation with the AI. But what you can see is 100% in the code that's written in there, it is biased. Like, there is no way around the fact, and I don't care whether you believe in global warming or not, right? Like, the actual history shows that the Earth's been hotter than this a long time.
So the way that you write AI code is you have a piece of it that represents the neural net or Bayesian algorithm or whatever that the AI uses, and then you have, I'd say, a manager on top of it that directs it, like, okay, go here for more information. And what I'm thinking is, when you see it biased, it's not getting enough information, or it's pointed to the wrong things. That's how you would get a biased AI.
There's so much information on both sides of the conversation.
Yes, but it's not a 50-50. It's not a 50-50 thing. And the second problem is you're having there with the bias is the AI may not have an opinion. The AI is just regurgitating what it reads, like a 3-year-old. If a 3-year-old could read, it'd be like the last thing it read is like, yeah, this is bad for you. And then, or it's going to pick an opinion like kind of random. Yes, Faz is now grandpa.
I'll let you jump into it. I'll let you jump into it and mess around with it and let me know.
There's a guy that posted on Twitter side by side when it first came out like a month ago. He asked it about, are fossil fuels the best source of energy? And it gave this whole big paragraph on how it's the best way to use the resources that we have available. He did it again now, and it came up and said, no, fossil fuels are not.
Okay,
so if they should be...
So again, it depends on what you read. If you read a lot of stuff that the fossil fuel industries would have you believe, that's going to be correct. If you read what the other industries would have you believe, that would be correct. I'd really want to see the data and how it's weighted in it. There's some technical stuff I'd want to see. I agree with the biased part, but I have a hard time agreeing with the fact that people are giving AI they're trying to make it smarter than it is and say, well, AI actually can figure all this stuff out. It can figure out right from wrong. No. If you look at our documentation, if you trained AI on Twitter, it'd be the most foul-mouthed thing that you'd ever seen. So it really depends on what it's reading. What?
Like type it into the AI, see what it says about nuclear, because I agree with you. I think it is the best option, especially with the new technology we have. It's interesting.
I don't know. I'd have to play with it, and then even after I played with it, I just have to know where it got its information from.
You should throw some of your Faz artwork in there too.
If you look on Twitter, there are people that are cross-examining the AI, and the AI is contradicting itself. They'll ask, can you show me what a fish looks like? And shows them a picture of a lion, and they're like, is that actually a lion? And it says, yes, it is. Okay, well, what does a fish have on it that a lion does not? Well, a fish has scales, the fish has gills, and well, does this picture have scales and gills? Why, no, this is a picture of a lion. It's like, what the fuck? So I don't know where things are going wrong, but it's with ChatGPT, and I think it has to do with what it's paying attention to at the time.
I think you need to get into ChatGPT LBD and check it out first, and then have a conversation on it. It's fun to do. I mean, regardless, the technology is pretty cool. Like in the speed of which it can spit out answers and the way it writes, and then the AI for the art and the pictures and that kind of stuff is pretty.
AI for specific purposes is great. If I had AI, hurry up, Grandpa. Who put that on?
I know he's cracking me up, dude.
if AI's whole job was to draw pictures, great, fucking great. If its job is to manage the nuclear power plant, I only wanted to see nuclear power plant information, and better be one set of data. It better not be the whole guy, how to manage 55 different types of nuclear power plants. I want one. Anyway, let's move on because Lycan's getting mad, and
Oh yeah, let's move on for Lycan because that
we want Lycan to feel better.
Lycan Radio, change the banner.
Yeah, there we go. We're in. Let's talk about Townstar. It's a really cool game.
Well, we can talk. Well,
Lycan's
actually,
gonna start
tomorrow.
correcting us there.
Tomorrow, I do wanna talk Gala for once because I've got some truth. I've got some truth bombs to drop, and we're already an hour 10 minutes in, so I don't want to do that tonight. We'll save that for tomorrow night.
Damn, now I gotta wait till tomorrow night for truth bombs.
Truth bombs. You said you had some too, so maybe you should pop in tomorrow night when we do the truth bombs.
Maybe I will. Depends on how much I drink beforehand.
I'm having a hard
Hey,
time
I'll be
keeping up
drinking
with those
tomorrow
stats.
too. I haven't drank in like a month because of that damn COVID I got.
I gotta
still
take
at
a
it?
break because I've been drinking for a month.
No, I don't have it. It disappeared like Tuesday of last week. I've been fine since. I'm just tired still. At like 10 o'clock at night, I zonk out. I never used to be like
called
that.
That's because you're old, dude. It's not.
Yeah.
Good.
You're older
Yeah.
than everyone here.
Just coincidence.
It's like, okay, Grandpa, it's okay. Go to bed. 8:30. You'll be okay.
Get on before you
See you at
fall down,
4 a.m.
Grandpa.
Right? I'm
I say
telling
that.
you.
I literally go to bed earlier than probably everybody here, like on purpose. I'm in bed early.
Weren't
know that.
Like
You guys had-
weren't you chatting with me at like 2 a.m. last night?
That was because I was up in the middle of the night.
Oh,
Getting old, gotta pee, huh?
Yeah. other health issues. I've got massive eating too much at the end of the night. I've been the whole winter
It's
holidays have been crushing my entire health soul. They're eating horrible food, drinking too much, sleeping horrible. It's been bad.
Yeah, I stopped eating Thanksgiving dinners about 10 years ago, and now at Thanksgiving I just have a normal, very small half plate kind of thing. So when you get old, that's just what happens.
I just gotta take a break from everything. So
All right.
soon.
So anyway, continue with your thing. You were going to start talking about bitching about Gala. I mean, Mr. Titan. What did you just say?
No,
about
I
Gala?
wasn't gonna start. We're gonna talk about that
Save it
tomorrow.
for tomorrow night.
I thought tomorrow night was going to be like the weekend, the year in review or something.
Well, we can talk Gala with the year in review because Gala obviously has done things all year long too, right?
Yeah.
We can incorporate that right in.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be listening.
Yeah, throw some comments in too.
I will not be pulling a Lycan and asking about your peen, Faz. That's what Lycan keeps talking
Lycan
about.
cares
I don't know what he
about
means.
people's pains, apparently.
Peen.
Maybe he should be more specific. All right.
No.
Well, let's.
Nobody wants
are
to
we
hear
done?
that.
Sounds like you guys are winding down.
We are.
Wind it down.
Wind it
Fade
down.
it out.
So
I've already got the chapter ready. It says wrap up and general banter.
Oh, we actually had something other than general banter this time.
We had a few somewhat focused topics.
Yeah, so yeah, we're all over the place. I'm typing them as we go, and it's you don't notice it until then, and you look at it, and you go, God damn it, we're all over the place again. We got to kind of get a better flow going here.
Well, maybe our producer should take care of that stuff, and then we could just do what she says.
I think you need to
You're
take
gonna-
a poll and see what people like. Do they like the
Our producer says right here, your banter gets viewers too. Oh wait. When you're hitting the heavier topics, you get more views. Keep this in mind. So,
Well, here's the
especially when we
thing.
argue,
Faz
too.
got mad at me the last time I did a poll because I did a poll on Gala when Bitbender was a guest, and the poll showed things that Faz didn't like. So
What
that
didn't I
didn't
like?
go very well.
What didn't I like?
I
You're
don't
not gonna
remember
say it
now.
Yeah, you're not going to say.
No,
it.
I
See,
don't. That was like
this is the
6
first time
months
you
ago.
mentioned it.
I put where did I even put that? Did we have a poll
See,
channel?
You know what the hell you're talking about? Okay, you just
No,
made that
I mean,
shit up, and
we
then said
got
I
that
disagreed.
bot. No, you didn't disagree with it. You didn't like the results because it basically was talking about ROI boys, and that's why they were here. And Bitbender didn't like it, and you didn't like it, but I tried to share the results of the
I
poll.
don't
We had a
recall.
really good response on that. We'll have to
should
go
pull
back
that
to
up.
that.
We record all these shows. We need somebody
Yeah,
to actually
we'll have to
back.
go back and pull that up. Yeah.
Okay.
Do we have a producer that can do that?
A producer that
I
can
don't
look
know.
through every show for you to say something that you probably didn't say? Okay.
No, we've only interviewed Bitbender
We have
like
over,
4
like 100
times.
shows, dude.
No, we only interviewed Bitbender like 4 times. So it's 4 shows that she would have to look at.
Each one of them went long too. I think the last one was like 2.5 hours.
But if she finds the dates, it can be searched in Discord to see if the poll's still there, or maybe it's in an archive channel now. I don't know.
Okay, our producer.
It was a good poll.
I don't think that's going to happen. But go for it. Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen because I don't think that there's something that I disagreed with. But I'm willing to be wrong.
What? You didn't disagree with something? That's BS right there. Come on.
Where would we?
Do you see what you've done? Do you see what you've done, Faz?
I'm famous for disagreeing. Good.
Oh, too funny. Too funny.
All right. So let's wind this down.
Boy.
Flip it to me and not Mr. Head with a hole. And let me find my
9-inch nails, baby. Head like a hole.
So we're gonna do this little Faz Pulse thing right here, and then we
pulse it.
We have our little outro here. Any last words?
Yeah, thanks for sticking with us tonight. Tomorrow, year in review, and we're going to talk shit about GALA, good and bad. Join us tomorrow night.
Mr. Nate?
Thanks, bros. That was fun.
All right. Titan's muted. Nate's muted. Wait, Titan. We have our pre-recorded outro to do. Can you say your thing so that people will know?
Oh, absolutely. Hey, like, subscribe, and throw some comments below. That helps us, which in turn helps us provide you with much, much better content every week. Thanks for being a listener. Thanks for supporting the channel.
And thanks for sitting through our pre-recorded outro.